They found this at the bottom of the ocean and couldn't believe what it was inside it. Off the turbulent coast of North Carolina, a team of underwater archaeologists were excavating the wreckage of a mysterious 300-year-old shipwreck. As they prepared to lift a massive 2,000-pound iron cannon from the seabed, they noticed it was unusually heavy and its muzzle was tightly plugged. When they finally got it back to the lab and saw what was hidden inside, they knew they had found a secret from the Golden Age of Piracy. This is the incredible true story of the discovery of Blackbeard's flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, and the treasure that was found hidden in the most unexpected of places. To understand the legend of the ship, we must first understand the legend of the man who captained it, Edward Teach, better known to the world as Blackbeard. In the early 18th century, the Caribbean and the American coast were the heart of the Golden Age of Piracy. It was a time of lawlessness, rebellion, and immense fortunes to be made on the high seas, and Blackbeard was the most famous, most feared, and most theatrical pirate of them all. His reputation was his greatest weapon. He was a master of psychological warfare. He was a tall, imposing figure with a wild black beard that he would reportedly weave into braids and tie with colorful ribbons. Before a battle, he would stuff slow-burning fuses into his beard and under his hat. When he lit them, his entire head would be wreathed in a cloud of thick, acrid smoke, making him look like a demon emerging from the depths of hell. The sight of him was so terrifying that most merchant crews would surrender their ships and their cargo without firing a single shot. In November of 1717, Blackbeard and his pirate fleet captured a large French slave ship named La Concorde off the coast of the island of Martinique. He saw the potential in the vessel. He kept the ship for himself, renamed it the Queen Anne's Revenge, and transformed it into one of the most formidable pirate warships of its day. He mounted 40 cannons on its decks and, at the head of a small flotilla of pirate ships, he began a reign of terror along the shipping lanes. His most audacious act came in the spring of 1718, when he and his fleet blockaded the port of Charleston, South Carolina. For nearly a week, he held the entire wealthy colonial city hostage, capturing ships and taking prominent citizens prisoner. He did not demand gold or silver. He demanded a chest of medicine for his crew, many of whom were suffering from disease. The city paid the ransom, and Blackbeard, having made his point and humiliated a colonial governor, simply sailed away. But just a few weeks later, his reign aboard the Queen Anne's Revenge came to a sudden and mysterious end. In June of 1718, while attempting to navigate the treacherous sandbars of Beaufort Inlet, North Carolina, the Queen Anne's Revenge ran aground and was damaged beyond repair. Blackbeard and his most trusted crew members loaded the most valuable plunder onto a smaller ship and sailed away, abandoning his legendary flagship to the sea. Many historians believe he grounded the ship deliberately as a way to downsize his crew and increase his own share of the treasure. For the next 278 years, the exact location of the most famous pirate ship in history remained a complete mystery, a tantalizing legend for treasure hunters and historians. Our story now jumps to the modern era, to 1996. A private research company named Intersol Inc., which had spent over a decade searching for the lost wreck, finally got a hit on their magnetometer in Beaufort Inlet. A team of underwater archaeologists was sent down to investigate. In the murky, shallow water, they found it. A large pile of ballast stones, a massive anchor, and scattered on the seabed, the unmistakable shapes of numerous, large, 18th-century cannons. After a careful analysis of the historical records and the artifacts, the state of North Carolina officially confirmed the discovery. They had found the Queen Anne's Revenge. What followed was one of the most important and painstaking underwater archaeological projects in North American history, a decades-long effort to excavate and recover the secrets of Blackbeard's flagship. The discovery of the Queen Anne's Revenge in 1996 was the beginning of a new, even more difficult journey. The journey into the past. For the next 25 years, the wreck site became a bustling underwater laboratory for a dedicated team of marine archaeologists. The work was incredibly slow and painstaking. Each artifact, from a colossal 2,000-pound cannon to a tiny fleck of gold dust, had to be meticulously mapped, photographed, and documented in its exact location on the seabed before it could be moved. The divers worked in often difficult conditions, battling currents and poor visibility. But what they slowly began to uncover was an unprecedented, tangible glimpse into the real, everyday life of an 18th-century pirate crew. They recovered over 30 of the ship's massive iron cannons, confirming its status as a heavily armed and formidable warship. They found the ship's large bronze bell, a powerful symbol of the vessel's identity. But it was the smaller, more personal items that told the most human story. They found pewter plates and the delicate, broken stems of wine glasses, hinting at the stolen luxuries the pirates enjoyed. They found lead shot, cannonballs, and parts of grenades, the tools of their violent trade. In a truly astonishing discovery, they even found wadded-up fragments of a book, a travelogue titled A Voyage to the South Sea and Round the World, proving that these pirates were not all the illiterate brutes of legend. But the most incredible discovery from the wreck site came from one specific cannon. It was a large, 8-foot-long cannon that when the recovery team tried to lift it, felt unusually heavy. They also noticed that its muzzle was tightly plugged with a cannonball and wadding. The cannon was carefully lifted from the sea and transported to the Queen Anne's Revenge Conservation Lab in Greenville, North Carolina. There, a team of conservators began the years-long, delicate process of removing the 300 years of marine incrustation. As they worked to clear the plug from the cannon's muzzle, they heard a faint, metallic rattling sound from inside. Slowly and carefully, they removed the cannonball. And as they cleared out the packed debris behind it, a stream of incredible, glittering treasure began to spill out. It was a hoard of gold dust and dozens of small, intricately designed gold coins. It was a pirate's secret stash, hidden in the safest and most unexpected of places. The coins were Spanish escudos and French louis d'or, dating from the early 1700s. This was the real, physical treasure of the Golden Age of Piracy, hidden by a pirate 3 centuries ago, and now gleaming once again under the lights of a modern laboratory. The discovery of the Queen Anne's Revenge and its incredible contents is a story that is still unfolding. After decades of painstaking work, all the artifacts, from the colossal cannons to the tiniest gold coins, were carefully conserved. In a great act of public trust, the state of North Carolina declared the entire collection to be public property, not to be sold off to private collectors, but to be preserved for everyone. Today, these incredible artifacts are on display at the North Carolina Maritime Museum in Beaufort. You can stand face-to-face with the cannons that once spread terror along the American coast. You can see the medical instruments that treated the sick and wounded crew. And you can see the very gold that Blackbeard and his men fought and plundered for. The discovery of the Queen Anne's Revenge has allowed us to replace the myths and legends with real, tangible history. It is a profound and priceless window into the brutal, complex, and fascinating world of the most famous pirate who ever lived.